Well, hello, traveler. I'm so glad you are here. Today, the Cavern Queen rebuilds the autosmelter, high-fives a barbarian chieftain, and recommends some sunscreen to a piglet. Hello everyone, it's Lady Shatana. Thanks for coming back to join me on my adventures. Today we need to start by taking a moment to be sad that TimidHat is still not here. He is still at camp and I promised him I wouldn't have too much fun while he was away. So we can all take a moment and pretend that I got trapped and that was the only fun that we had, right? We're going to do that? We're all agreed? We're going to do that? Yes, I thought so. Okay. What we are going to do is we're going to do a few colony things and a few not colony things. And as you can see, I'm starting off in my supply ship. And as you all know, I love my ship. But this ship is going to go bye-bye. What we've talked about in previous episodes is that because I want to put in the dock, it's going to smash right into the ship, and so we're going to move it. We're going to deconstruct and remove the builder's hut in here, and we're going to have to take out everything. So one of the things we're going to have to move is the auto smelter, which I love. It's so super handy. You just throw things in and you let it do its thing, and then you get profit, which is great. So if you don't know how to build one, I actually did look up the instructions on the internet from other amazing YouTubers who know more about this sort of thing than I do. And so what I did is I took a screenshot of this setup so that I can use it to set things back up when we move it. So we're going to take it inside. And so the first thing we're going to do is I've already taken off the trapdoors, and so now let's take the rest of it down and then we'll move it inside my personal space. Here we go. And it's gone. And apparently I had a large amount of experience sitting in those furnaces just waiting for me. I always forget that it does that the furnace holds on to the experience. So that was a nice little surprise, and I should probably do something with it before I do something silly like die and lose it all. So let's go and put this back up. Hopefully I'll be able to get it done quite quickly with the resources I have. The resources being my smart little screenshot that I did before I took it down. So I'm going to put it down into my personal space down here. And as you can see, I've made a couple of changes. I now have a welcome carpet into my space that is all barrels and it's all holding cobblestone. It's a ridiculous amount of cobblestone, which will very soon be going to a crusher and a sifter to get goodies out of it. But for now, it's part of the floor, because I thought that would be very efficient. And I really like this archwood. It's very shiny and I enjoy it, so I'm going to use it as sort of a back wall thing there by my storage. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put down chests, and then we're going to put down hoppers and then furnaces, and it's going to be amazing. So I'm trying to remember exactly how this goes. We got two chests that go like this on either side, and then the hoppers go into the chests, and then the furnaces go onto the hoppers like that. And then we have more hoppers that go into the furnaces, and on top of those hoppers is more chests. So we may have to put something up here to stand on. So then more chests which go on the hoppers like like that, and like that. Okay, so there's that, and then into these furnaces go more hoppers to the side, and then on top of those go 2 more chests. Let's put these down again, and these chests go right there and right there, and that looks just like what we had before. And then I'll do the fun thing and I'll add a whole wall back here of this lovely archwood and make it look all shiny, and then I'll put probably some trapdoors up just to hide that, or I might just leave it. So what we're going to need is we're going to need something to smelt, and we're going to need some fuel, and we're going to get profit. So pretty sure I have a whole bunch of coal in here somewhere. Let's get that, and do 1 and 2. And so this is the fuel chest, and the fuel chest, and it loads the fuel into the hopper, which then loads it into the furnace. So you can see it's reducing in the chest, increasing in the hopper, and increasing into the furnace. So then we're going to take some cobblestone, have a whole bunch over here. Let's just take a bunch like that, and then we put the smeltable item into, oh right, it has to be able to open above the chest, so I'll replace that with probably a slab or something after. So then we add the smeltables in there, and as you can see, it is reducing there, which means it's going into the hopper and into the furnace, and it's cooking and going over here, and then it goes into there. It's so magical. I love this thing. It's so handy to have when you have to cook a ridiculous amount of cobblestone back into stone. And I hope that you guys have liked that it is in the supply camp and the supply ship. I just thought it would be very handy for everybody to have. So there we go, we moved that. That's flippin' awesome, and I love it. And I'll finish up making this really pretty and make the wall really nice like that, because when you have the pretty logs, you might as well use the pretty logs. Yeah, let's see, that just like that. Yeah, see, that looks nice. And it's like flame wall. It's like a flame wall. And then I'll do something really nice over here. But it also separates the room nicely, and it gives us some nice separation. And then this will be just other storage and various things. Probably come up with something for that later when we don't need all this anymore, for holding all of the various stone that we have. And then this side, I'm going to make it sort of my living area. I've got some ideas for a really nice like bedroom and living room and kitchen and stuff, because everybody should have a really nice living space in their colony. So let's see, I just see that it was sunset and everybody went to bed. So let me find where I put my sleeping bag, and let's have a snooze. Because I love a good snooze, and I like being able to sleep wherever I want. It kind of works for me. So let's see what I have finished since you guys were here last with me. I added the fisherman because there's a university research that needs the fisherman's hut. So I added that in here, and this is gradually going to get quite shiny in here. I love these statues. These were actually, there's a whole series of these statues that were inspired by another builder on the internet somewhere. Years and years and years ago, they made a set of these statues and said that anybody who wanted could use them. So I took them as inspiration for the set that I made for that I put together for Cavern. So I like to use them all over the place. So then I finished the forestry hall. Even though our actual forester is outside, we can still do some trees and stuff in here, but we really needed the sawmill, and we'll need the dyer and the rabbit hutch, and this is where the sawmill would normally go. With the way things are designed, I could put possibly like a second sawmill. This particular style isn't really heavy on the wood, so it might not be worth it to do that, but some styles that would, for example, use a lot of wood probably would benefit from having multiple sawmills. But or I could just leave it. Or I could build it and then not actually put anybody there just to make it look nice. And then, of course, my favorite part of this whole hall, which we're going to have to build, is the apiary that puts the big beehive up on the ceiling. That's my favorite part of the entire hall. So I got that done. And then next door we got done the geology hall, and I used the sandstone version of the geology hall. When I made the new versions, I just thought this one really popped. I thought it looked really nice, and I love the lava ceiling. It looks like we're inside like a lava mountain, and there's all the magma in there. I just love lava. You guys know how much I love lava. So this is just finished, so I haven't actually put anything in it, but this is where the sifter and the crusher are going to go, with more lava, of course. Now, there is a lot of these iron bars, and I think with the way that the colonists won't actually be able to get up to here, I think, be able to take a bunch of these out of the design so that you're not having to supply so many, because it ended up, when I was building it, and this has been really interesting, and I've mentioned this before, that I design things and I build them and then I test them in a creative environment to make sure that everything works, that it's not like, one building isn't destroying another when it's upgrading and things like that. But sometimes the reality of how much of a specific material, it doesn't really translate or come through when you're doing your testing in creative. And I've had a lot of testers that have done amazing things with giving me feedback and stuff like that. And people have said, it's a lot of iron, but nobody's ever been like, holy Moses, that is a ridiculous amount of iron. So I've never thought about it, but it really is. So between that and the 470 lanterns that I've got in the whole thing, it's a lot of iron. I've already made a few changes, newer versions of Minecolonies within the last, I believe the new versions this week do have some updates to halls and connectors for reducing the amount of lanterns in them. And so I think I may be looking at the things like the iron bars and possibly the chains as well, the iron chains. But I like this hall. This originally, when I built it, it was solid stone on all the walls, and two of my fellow builders, Kugo and Aravan, who are amazingly talented, they actually suggested switching it out to some andesite just to make it look a little bit more interesting, and I think that was a good call. So yeah, we'll be getting these huts into here very, very soon, and I think that'll be great. What else have we done? We have updated the downstairs a little bit. We added halls, or lower halls, under each one of the halls, and we started a residence under each one of them. The goal is that every hall will be able to have the people working in that hall housed downstairs. So this particular one is actually a builder who is in the intersection right next to it. So you'll be able to have everybody housed really, really close to their workplace, and they'll be able to get to and from work quickly, and they'll be happy. And a happy citizen is a good citizen. So what we're going to need to do next is we are going to need to upgrade these guard towers that are right here. When we look at where we're at on the map, it's this guard tower here, and if we upgrade it, we'll be pushing the borders out here, which will give us the space we need to put the next intersection and connectors, which will let us put the next guards, which will let us push things further out to be able to do the third set of halls. Because when we look at the upstairs, so we now have 6 halls in place, which is really awesome. And I usually do, a sort of a 3x3 grid of the halls, and then if I need any more, I'll see where things are at and how I want to do that. And you can see we talked about, in the last episode, we talked about adding that other intersection over here, and I'm deciding if I'm going to put an intersection or a connector here, because there's another thing I'm thinking about over here, which we'll go take a look at. But that's going to be one of the next things for us. This is the mine, which again I did have to build so that I could do some other university research. There's some fun things in this mine. This is Crazy Carl, so do not let Crazy Carl out. He is spellbound. The Dame of the Deep has him under her spell. So poor Carl. And that's in homage to Carl Lansor, who is one of the designers. He did, I believe he did all the medieval types, but there you go, another shout out to one of our members. Want some oak slabs? We'll work on it. We'll make sure we get that. So actually with that, what we can do now that we have the sawmill in place, and I'm sure you guys all know about this, but of course my method is that when somebody asks for something, that's when I go and I make sure I teach it to the relevant crafter, because then you don't have to think about what you need to teach to each person, just as a request comes up. So crafting recipes, and I'm going to teach the oak slab they wanted, right? Yeah, and there we go. So there's actually a really neat thing, and I don't have anything in requested right now, but in the custom recipes, and would be ones that you would be using the architect's cutter for, the domum blocks. And what they've got is if something is being requested, the item itself will actually show up right here, and you can just click the teach right there and it will come up with the next screen, and you can click OK to teach it. So you don't have to like go back and forth and remember and write down what it was. You do actually have a bit of a shortcut for those custom recipes now, which is really, really awesome. Hi Finley, how you doing? Doing your job? Doing your thing? Good stuff. Here's another one that has some really fun signs. Never build a door when a gate will do the job. Tell the builder to make their own sticks. Fun with trap doors, just don't get caught. And a day that ends with all your fingers is a good day. I think those are, that's good life. Life lessons right there. And I think in every one of the buildings here I've got silly signs like that, so probably worth building the forester up here anyway, just for his fun signs. So we'll probably do that. So there we go. So that'll make the miner happy. And did we add anything over here? I don't know. We had the smelter, Esteban, doing the smelting. We've got our stonemason and our blacksmith. Right now the blacksmith pretty much just knows copper tools. And of course I haven't been asked for a tool since I got this set up. If you have the same kind of if you have a mod like I do for copper, and if you have the same kind of ridiculous amounts of copper that I do, I just let them use all copper tools. I'm not even going to teach. Oh no, it's barbarian time. That's never fun. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sleep so that I don't have to battle any barbarians in the dark, and let's go find us some barbarians. It probably won't be too many because we're still pretty small. The raids that I've had so far have been, I think, 2 or 3 barbarians, so not too many, but watch this one be like huge. And it's expected, of course, that you get guards to handle this, but I have been concentrating on my crafters, and I'm like, I can look after them. I can do this. It's going to be just fine. So they're going to be coming from the northwest, which is going to be in that direction somewhere, which is kind of unfortunate because the northeast ones, for some reason, I'm able to find really easily, but the northwest ones, not so much. So we're going to keep an eye on this area here for them, and while we wait for them to make their way over to us, I did talk before about how we've got this guard tower that I'm sticking in here, and I'm thinking of putting a residence in here and then just making, like, put gates, really good gates over here and over here, and this resident would then would house the herders and that forester upstairs, so that would be 5 citizens, and with 5 citizens up there. So that's what I'm thinking of doing there, and that's why I'm not sure if a connector will work there, because that's actually, the residence would be right here, and so I think I can fit a residence and an intersection to be able to put things into there, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. All right, let's wander over here and see if we can find the barbarians. Good way to find barbarians, if you don't know, is to look for the campfire, because they will have a little campfire that they are based out of. Taking a look. Do you see anything? I'm not seeing anything. But they'll be over here somewhere, because they'll spawn just outside of your colony area. And there is a crazy calculation that the system uses to decide where, oh, there they are, to decide where they're going to spawn. And sometimes with Cavern that can be problematic, because they can end up spawning and actually popping into, like, they'll go into a cave to try and go as, like, the most direct route into the colony, and they'll end up coming through the walls inside the colony. So it's best if you can figure out kind of where they're coming from and funnel them to where you want them to be. So, hello, Mr. Barbarian Chief. I'm going to want to just want to high five. I want to high five you. Sorry, I'm just high-fiving with my sword. You guys are really, really not very good at the high fives here. Sort of. Sorry, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But we did it, guys. We survived the raid. So as you can see, the early raids are generally not too problematic, and they dropped some almost dead chainmail, which, you know, is better than nothing, right? So there we go. I think you saw the shepherd, and who are you? Who are you? Hello. Oh, hello. Oh, Whirly Sprig. You are adorable. Can we be friends? Can we be friends? Maybe I'll get a carbuncle friend, I'll get a Whirly Sprig friend, and I hear there's a Drigme, which is he's a little gnomey dwarf little guy. These guys are so cute. TimidHat tells me there is a ritual, an Ars ritual, to ask these guys to be familiars, and they'll do stuff for you. Like, I think this one has something to do with growing trees and stuff. But you're so cute. Stick around. Don't leave. Stay around with me. I did clear things out, and I've got this area ready for the cowboy, and I figured I decided I'm going to offset it, and then up there I'm going to do the same thing. I'm probably going to offset the two buildings just to give it a little bit more visual interest. And working on that wall here. I haven't actually finished it because I haven't decided if I'm going to pop up that next level or if I'm going to level it off at that level. So I'm trying to decide that before I finish the wall. But isn't that going to look really, really nice? And then you can do, you know, like I said, we can add some vines and things in between. It will just look really, really, really nice. But that looks much nicer than just a plain old boring like rock wall or something. And then we'll move it, we'll go it around the corner and then around behind the cowboy over there. And I think that's going to look great. And then what I'll probably do is I will make some changes to the wall here and make it so it's almost like maybe like a cliff. So it's 2 or 3 you know, blocks down or something, just to make it more inaccessible, hopefully, to the barbarians and stuff. But when a raid happens, your citizens should be hiding in their homes. And as long as they're doing that, as long as these guys aren't at work and they're in their home, and like I said, the residence that I'm thinking of building for these guys would be nicely safe inside that tunnel area. And I think that should help keep them safe during raids. But we'll see. It's either that, or I'm just going to maybe do some, you know, like I love adding more waterfalls and things like that. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll add a nice waterfall, an artificial lake down here, because, you know, when you have one lake, what's better than one lake is two. It's 2 lakes, because, you know, lakes are great. The orchard thing, I haven't added anything new. I haven't really been out exploring much, to be honest. So there's actually a whole bunch more trees that I have to get for that. And what else we got? What else we got going on? I haven't done anything in here yet. I'm still going to, for sure. And I haven't done anything over here. I've mostly been digging out the... Oh, hello. What are you doing here? Hey. Hi. Hey, buddy. What's up? Nothing? You're, you might get a sunburn hanging out here. You know what? Just hang out. It's okay. Just explore. Have a nice vacation. He came in from... Maybe I should close this off somehow and keep those guys out. Or probably close it off on the other side would be smarter. But, put some sunscreen on. Yeah, okay. You do you, buddy. You do you. That's funny. I always forget that they're sometimes wandering through. So there we go. We did some things, and we talked about some plans, and we survived a raid, a big scary raid. Those silly barbarians thought they could catch me unawares because I was talking to you guys, but they were wrong, right? Yes, they were. Okay, so yeah, I think that'll about do it. I hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic day, and that we see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye!